In this video, I would like to demonstrate how Web API works with ASP.NET Core Minimal API. So this is Visual Studio 2022 and it's preview 3 for .NET 8. So instead of doing it with .NET 7, I decided to do it with .NET 8 because .NET 8 is going to come out by the end of this year, 2023. Let's go to File and try to create a project. You can search API. The first thing that comes up is ASP.NET Core Web API. So let's click on this. Let's call it Web API Demo. Click on Next. And over here, make sure this is unchecked. Because if we check this, then we're going to use traditional controllers like MVC style Web API. Keeping this unchecked, we're going to use minimal APIs. And then we don't have to use the open API for the documentation. From the framework, I have installed .NET 8 preview version. Since .NET 8 is still under development, if there's any breaking change in the future, I'm going to come back and update my video. I'm going to click on the Create button. Now let's go to Solution Explorer. And you can see that we have a program.cs file. So this program.cs file, it's like a console application. When you run it, it actually runs as a console application. So let's actually give it a try. Right, without doing anything else, it already has some code in the template. Okay, so the application started. You can see that it has some logging here, right? The logging shows us that the application is listening to the localhost at the 7103 port. This is for the HTTPS protocol. And for HTTP protocol, it's listening to 5250 port, right? So this is what I mentioned in the previous lecture, where I said that the Web API application runs a console application constantly listen to requests to come in. Okay. Where does it listen to? It listens to a particular port. And I'm demonstrating that that's actually the case. It's listened to localhost, which is my computer itself, and then it's on two different ports due to two different protocols. So where is this port configured? You can go to Properties and go to Launch Settings. You can see that if it's HTTP protocol, it's listening to this 5250 port. Of course, you can change that, right? If it's HTTPS, it's listening to 5103 port. See, HTTPS 5103. That's this part of the diagram. And then we need to look closer at the routing, which, like I mentioned in the previous video, there are two parts. Right? One is the URI. The other one is the verbs. Let's look at them now. So we have some code already here. First of all, let's stop this. And then let's delete this class because we don't need it. Let's delete all of this. So you can see that here's the minimum code. We have this builder to build the application. And after building the application, we have the application and then we say run. After we say app.run, the console application just runs constantly and listening to specific ports. This is just something that it tells the Web API application that if we receive a HTTP request, then it will redirect to HTTPS. In other words, it's always going to the safest port, which is the HTTPS port. Okay, let's look at the routing now, right? So let's look at how the routing works. First, let's imagine that we're creating an application for a company that sells shirt online. Then the API will enable the user to search for shirts, to add a shirt, to update a shirt, or to delete a shirt. Right? For that, we'll need a URI like /shirts to get all of the shirts. Remember that we're also looking at the verbs. To read all of the shirts, we're using the get verb. So go back to this. So to read, so here actually, this is a read, right? To read, we're looking at the get verb. So we're going to say /shirts. So this is the URI part. This is the verb part. What it means that if there's a request that comes in with the URI like /shirts and the verb is get, then it's going to execute this function. Right? So we're going to use a arrow function. So this maps to this function that is hosted remotely. And what we're going to do is we're going to return rating all the shirts. Of course, we're returning this message just for demonstration purpose. In the real Web API endpoint, you're supposed to return all of the shirts in different formats, usually in JSON format, right? So you need to return a JSON array that contains all of the shirts. But right now we're returning the message just for demonstration purpose. And then now let's create another endpoint, which is going to map to the request where the user wants to see a particular shirt. And for that, we can allow the user to provide the ID, and then we're going to receive that ID right here in the arrow function. We use string interpolation. I'm going to say rating shirt, which shirt? This shirt, with ID like that. Okay, so this is going to tell us which shirt with which ID we're rating. And then we are going to create a shirt. Okay? And for that, we're going to map to the post verb. And the URI is the same as the get. And this is going to map to this arrow function, and we're just simply returning a message for now. Okay, creating a shirt. Of course, there has to be something posted into this function, which we're going to receive inside the parameter. But in this video, I'm not going to do that. I'm just demonstrating the minimum requirement of a Web API framework, which is to do the routing. Right? So that's the post, which is to create the shirt. And then we're going to update a shirt. For that, we're going to use the verb put. We're going to say slash shirts slash ID. We're updating a particular shirt. We're using this ID to tell the Web API which shirt we're updating. And again, we're receiving that ID right inside the arrow function as a parameter. And then we're going to say return. Again, we're going to use string interpolation in C#. We're going to say updating shirt with ID, this ID, right? And last but not least, we're going to do the delete. So for that, we're going to use the delete verb. And the second part of the puzzle is the URI, which we are going to tell which shirts we're going to delete. And that's the same URI, right? So this is the shirt we're deleting. And then in here, simply just return the message by saying deleting shirt with ID. Okay, we're done with the implementation of a very simple API. Doing this just to show you how API works, especially how the routing part works. Let's run the Web API application again. For the get endpoint, which is to read the shirts, we can use a browser, right? In fact, it actually launches a browser, which it points to the original URI. And this is configured again in the launch settings. You can see that it goes to the launch URI. So let's change this manually to shirts. So this is sending a HTTP GET, and you can see that rating all the shirts comes back. And if I say /1, and it says rating shirt with ID number 1. For rating the shirts, we are able to hit both of this endpoint with the browser. And to test the create and update and delete, we will have to use a tool. And the tool of our choice in this course is going to be the Postman. Right? It's a very popular tool, so which I'm going to use in this course. Here, I'm going to add a collection. And this collection, I'm going to call it Web API and .NET 8. And then over here, I'm going to add a request. So let's actually add the get first. Let's add all 4 endpoints. Let's save this, and then let's click on the send button. I think I got the URI wrong, so I'm gonna click on send again. I got the response back. Right. So let's change this name to read all shirts, and let's add another one. And this is /shirts/ let's get the shirt number 9. Click on save. This is get a particular shirt. Right? So read a shirt. And then let's click on send. we can see that we're rating a shirt with ID number 9. So now let's try to do a post, which is to create a shirt. So let's copy the URI. So creating a shirt, we're hitting this endpoint with a post verb. And let's change to create a shirt. Save it and click on the send button. So it says creating a shirt. So we're hitting the endpoint, right, correctly. And then let's add another one. And this, we're updating a shirt with the same URI with ID. We're updating shirt number 10. And this verb has to be put. Clicking on send, we're hitting the endpoint, we're getting the message back. Now let's do our last one, which is the delete endpoint. And we're deleting a particular shirt with the delete verb, same URI as the update, or as the read a particular shirt, but different verb. Right, clicking on the save button and then the send button. Now we're getting the correct message. And this is a basic overview of how a web API works. And you can kind of foresee that your work as a developer is mainly inside here. You're going to implement all of the logic inside these arrow functions. Of course, it's not a good idea to put all of your code inside this one function. You may need to consider architecture, which I'm going to introduce later. Right? You may need to create different classes to handle different operations. But this is the basic. To sum up, let's go back to our diagram again. We have the web API application running as a console application, which you have seen here, right? It's constantly running and listening to specific ports. As soon as there is a request come in, the first job that it does is to do the routing, which is to map the request to a particular operation. And how does that work? It's using a combination of the URI and the verb to map to the endpoint. I have demonstrated here the URI and the verb map to this particular function, which is the remotely hosted function over the web. That's how we defined web API technically. Each one of these combinations map to a different function. I hope this demonstration have given you a basic understanding of how web API works. And I'll see you in the next video.